Hi, TPT sellers. There's this idea in business that you are what you measure. So if you don't keep track, it's hard to improve. I'm on a journey to try to 10x my TPT income by the end of the year. My store is doing worse than last year at this point. I have to try to figure out ways to improve. When I first started getting serious about TPT, I used to download my product stats CSV daily. I used to keep track of where the page views were. And I did this consistently for about 2 years. Then I sort of stopped because my business coach pointed out, well, how often do you use the data? If you're not making daily decisions, then you don't need to track the data daily. I think looking back, I was looking at the change in page views and thinking like, oh, okay, this makes sense because it's New Year's and my New Year's resolutions are cranking up my page views. I think I need to get back into that. I'm going to try spending 30 minutes every day in the morning just doing some quick data to see if I can pinpoint what's going wrong in my store. If we think about stages of the TPT teacherpreneur, this video is for hawks and hamsters. If you haven't started your TPT journey, you might as well put your name on the wait list because they are... Ooh, this is nice. It used to be a Google form, but now it looks legit. They are screening applicants to make sure the quality is there. If you're a TPT tadpole and you already have your store, but you haven't got a minimum viable product yet, check masterclass number 2. If you're a tadpole tinkering around, trying different things, you don't need to worry about this data. The difference between a hamster and a hawk, a hamster is running on that content creation wheel and they are at ground level and all they are thinking about is cranking out those resources. If you are a hamster, chances are the simple version of this TPT Google Sheet data tool will work for you. I'm going to go on TPT. I'm going to type Mike Fuchigami. My name is Mike Fuchigami, by the way. I'm the host of the SEOTpreneur channel. Anyway, if I search up Mike Fuchigami, find this free Google Sheet data tool, and then watch the video, it'll explain how to use this data tool. The simplest form is enough for most TPT hamsters because when you upload your product stats CSV, you can instantly see color-coded your page view, your product preview rate, and your conversion rate. That's mostly what we need at the hamster level, just to try to improve product covers and product descriptions and stuff like that. But when you hit that TPT hawk level, you're starting to get a higher level view of your TPT business. And you recognize that it's more than just creating content. It's also marketing. It's also legal stuff. It's also financial stuff. It's also strategic stuff. It doesn't matter if you're a full-time teacherpreneur like myself, or if you're still in the classroom. If you're at the hawk level, you might want some deeper data to be able to figure out what's going right and what's going wrong in my store. Today is Tuesday, February 13th. I have 322 days left to make $92,000. If I look at where I am this year so far, I am $1,600 behind where I was last year. This solid blue line shows me where I am this year. The light green line shows me where I was last year. So far, I've made $3,000, which is fantastic. I recognize it's more than some of you. I recognize it's less than some of you, but we're all on our own TPT journeys. I know it's hard not to be impacted by my sales, but my success and my failure doesn't really impact your store. I think that's the perspective that we need to keep, that we're in a race against ourselves. It's our personal best that we're trying to beat. And right now I'm not beating my personal best. I can see from the TPT dashboard, my earnings are down. What I really want to be able to see are my top 5 resources on a single dashboard. Last week at this time, I had 11 reading comprehension bundles sell, but this year I don't have that. Side note, I wonder if it's because I've added language about middle school in this reading comprehension strategy bundle that maybe is not appealing to the grade 5 and 6 teachers who are buying it and using it. So I have to double check that today. I also want to update my data here because you can see here I haven't uploaded. This top 5 dashboard is based on sales data. We can download sales data all the way from the beginning of our TPT stores. So that's why it's perfect for being able to see where we are compared to last year in terms of earnings. I wish I could see page views, but I can't. Peter Drucker said this idea, you can't improve what you don't measure. I'm thinking about key performance indicators, and as I develop my Google Sheet tool to meet my needs, I will share it for free with all the TPT sellers at afreesellertool.com. I need to figure out what my key performance indicators are. If the top of the funnel is healthy, then it means that it'll trickle down and hopefully lead to more sales. I'm going to look at some of the slides that we talked about in masterclass number 6. If you're new here, check out masterclass number 6 and it explains the funnel a lot more in detail. The search engine shows your product snippet. The teacher sees your product snippet, decides to click on it. They look at your product page. They look at your preview if they really like what they read on the product description. Then they either buy the product later and put it on the wish list, or they buy the product right now because they like what they see or they need it right now. In terms of numbers we can measure, The first one would be the number of impressions. TPT doesn't give that right now. The product stats CSV gives us three things. It gives us a number of page views, it gives us a number of previews, and it gives us the number of people who put our item on the wish list. Then in our product stats CSV and our sales data CSV, we get the amount of earnings. I think what I need to know is the conversion rate. So if I look at the slide from masterclass number 6, yes, we have page views, but we also have the preview rate. What percentage of people who look at your page actually look at your preview because they're interested in buying it? We have the wish list rate, and then we have, of course, the conversion rate or the sold rate. Here are the key performance indicators that I'm considering. I'm going to show you how to use the data locker. The data locker is just the name of a Google Sheet. It's just one file that you update and you upload all your CSVs in there. I'm constantly updating the Google Sheet data tool. It's becoming a headache to copy your data from one file to the next file to the next file. I get that. If I scroll down here, the data locker is just a way to put all of our data in one spot. Then when we get the newest and latest version of the Google Sheet data tool, you just have to tell it where the data locker is by pasting it here in the orange. I'm going to click on this link. It says get the data locker. I'm going to click make a copy. I call it data locker version 2.0 orange. Now, I use an old version of the data locker because I'm playing with this. So if you're using the old version of the data locker, I'll show you how to update. Here is my data locker. I'm going to change the file name. I'm going to say Mike's real copy of the data locker. Now, this is an important part to stay organized because over time you will have lots of files, Google Sheet files from me. So I'm going to create up here, I have my bookmark bar showing. I'm just going to right click on the bookmark bar and I'm going to type add folder. I'm going to create a folder called Mike. I think I put it by accident in here. So I'm just going to click and drag it and put it right here at the beginning. So here's this folder called Mike. It's empty right now, but this will let me quickly find the files that I need. By the way, if you're one of my clients and you already have a Mike folder, just add it to that folder. So this is my real data locker. I'm going to click this star button to bookmark it. It's going to want to bookmark it somewhere else. I'm going to click on this bookmark bar and then I'm going to choose the Mike folder and I'm going to hit save. So now if I go into this Mike folder, I can see my real copy of the data locker source. I'm going to go to this free seller tool. I'm going to change it to Mike's real copy of a free seller tool. You name it, whatever makes sense for you. I'm going to hit this start button to bookmark it and it'll remember the last place I saved, which is Mike. If it doesn't remember, I just click on it and I find the Mike folder and I save it in there. So now the Mike folder has my free seller tool, which always has that green circle dot, and then it has the data locker. Let's upload our product stats CSV data into the data locker. I'm going to click at the bottom where it says TPT product stats CSV all. I go to Teachers Pay Teachers to download my product stats. I like to save all my product stats in the same folder. As you can see, I have a few different days. I'm going to call this February 13th YouTube video. Just like always, I click on this yellow cell. I click on File, Import, Upload, browse for my file. I select it. I click on the drop-down menu to choose Replace Data at Selected Cell. I click on Import Data. I have to get rid of this first line, which is a header. And now I'll show you what I do to put the date in here. Right beside it, I'm going to put today's date, which is February 13, 2024. And I know it turned into a proper date format because the number's on the right-hand side. I just Control-C the date. I hold the Shift key down. I press the down key down all the way down to the bottom of today. And here we go. So once I've selected all of the cells for the date, I go Control V and it pastes in today's date. Now, if you have multiple files, no problem. I'm going to upload yesterday's data, for example. So I'm going to click on the first available cell. I'm going to go File, Import, Upload, Browse, and I can upload yesterday's data from the 12th that I saved. Replace data at the selected cell, import the data. I right click on the row number, and then I click on delete row to get rid of that header. After deleting the header, I need to put the date. By clicking the cell, this data was from yesterday, so I type February 12th, 2024. I go back up, I hit Control-C. I have a shortcut. I just move my cursor one to the right by hitting the right key, and then I go Control down, and it jumps to the last row. I move one to the left, and if I go Control V, there's my date. I go Control Shift up, and the Shift lets me select multiple cells, and then I just go Control V to paste in the date. And then just as you put your data in, you can just continue to go like that. Now, I actually have to import my data from my old version of the data locker. In this data locker, I put data from December 31st, 2022. I actually have a lot more data than this, but there is a limit to how much Google Sheets can handle. When I tried to upload 2 more years of data, it just sort of crashed. So just be aware of that. Some of you have 700 products. You're going to hit that crash point a lot sooner than I will at around 150 products. I can see here I have 26,000 rows in this data point. I think it crashed at 90,000. That's a work in progress. The way I export this data that I've already uploaded is I just click File, Download. I'm going to call it Old Data Locker Source. So it's saved up here. Now I'm going to import my old data locker file into this new orange data locker. Normally when I import the product.csv, I find the first blank row with empty data. If I was uploading the TPT product.csv, there's no date in there. So I would click in column B, which has the product numbers for us in the CSV. If on the other hand, I'm importing from a data locker, that has a date column. I'm importing from a data locker. I'm going to click in column A. I click File, Import, and then let's go to Upload. Click on Browse. I choose the old data locker source file. Click on Open, and then I click Replace data, import the data. It might take a second or two depending on how much data you have. It looks like it's done, but the data hasn't shown up yet. Oh, there we go. I have 2 header rows to delete, so I'll just delete these rows. And if I go control down to the very bottom, I can see I now have a lot of data in here. Now I do want to check to make sure there are no duplicates. Thank you for your patience. This is a work in progress. Right now it's kind of a tricky way to do it, but let's do it this way anyway. I'm going to just click on row 2. And then I'm going to hold the Shift key and I'm going to move down. And as I go down, it's selecting things, but I don't want to go down all the way to the bottom like this. This will take forever. So I hold the Shift key down, the Control key down, and then the down arrow key. Boom. And then that selects everything all the way to the bottom. The reason why we have to do this is because we have to select the table with headings, but I put this pretty data locker thing and I have to remove that row. But if I remove that row, all of the formulas in the data tool, Google Sheet, will break. So I'll figure it out later. So I've selected my table. I just click Data, Data Cleanup, Remove Duplicates. There's a data row and I don't want to select all. I want to delete based on the date and the number, but not the name. The name will change depending on when you download your products.csv file, because we change our product names all the time. And the moment you change the product name, if column C is selected, then it'll be different and you'll have duplicate data. So anyway, just column A and column B, remove duplicates. It's thinking. There we go. There were 225 duplicates. It looks like maybe I had 2 dates that were repeats. So my product.csv is caught up to date. Let's have a little fun and link our data locker into our data tool. So I'm going to go to my TPT data analysis tool, my Google Sheet. If I scroll down, I find this section about the data locker. And in this orange spot, it says I have to copy the URL of the data locker. So I'm going to go to the data locker. Here is the URL. I Control C to copy that. I go back to the data tool. It says right up here, paste the URL for your data locker. So I'm going to paste the URL for the data locker. The spreadsheet's smart enough to say, hey, okay, I detect your URL. And down here in purple, it says there's an error. So it says I have to give permission. And the way I give permission, there's this tiny red triangle here. There's also tiny red triangles down here. But if I hover over here, it'll basically say I have to give permission to access it. I only have to do it the first time. I click Allow Access. Now this Google Sheet data tool is connecting to your data locker. It might take a few seconds. Now, it says you are using data locker version 2.0 orange. Now I have some data loaded here. I can see my products.csv. There's a summary. So I have 132 products.csv files uploaded into this data locker. It says the first date is December 31st, 2022. The last date in the data locker is February 13th, which is today, 2024. To double check to make sure that this is correct, if I hover over total earnings and click on that link to the dashboard, if I change my time period to all time, 83,290. And it says here 83,243. Oh, the numbers are different. That's probably because I started this recording in the morning, but it's the afternoon. It looks like I've made a few sales. So that's why the data is a little bit different in my products.csv. No problem. If I scroll down, I can see that in the sales data CSV, it says it's blank, nothing found in the locker. Likewise, in the TPT ads section, nothing found in the locker. So I'm going to put my sales data into this orange data locker. Check out the link at the top of the screen. It's a video that shows you how to upload your TPT sales data. So this is my real old data locker source. I'm going to export it from the data locker into my new orange data locker. Before I can export it though, I want to make sure I have just the TPT stuff. If I go all the way to the right-hand side, it says purchase order, and then at the end it says month. And in the month, there's some formulas that are calculated. I don't want to overwrite that. I'm going to click on column X, right click, delete column, and it just got rid of it. Now this is just my sales data from 2018 all the way down to last month. Let's save this, file, download, comma separated values. I'm going to call it old sales data because the other one was old product stats. So this is my old sales data. I go back to my new shiny orange data locker. I click on this yellow cell. I go File, Import, Upload, Browse. I upload my sales data, hit Open. I'm going to replace the data and my data is in here. Because the CSV file that I'm importing doesn't have a month column, then the month column with all the formulas from the orange locker is still here. It's not getting messed up. I have to delete this top row. I'm just going to go Control down to go to the bottom to make sure there's no summary row. There shouldn't be. Now, it looks like I have some data from February, but I'm missing recent data. I'm going to download the month of February. So I'm just going to click Download Full Report. It's sending me an email with the link to the report. Here's the email. Let's go to the report. Let's download this report. I'll leave it the file name it is because it has the dates in there. I go back to my orange data locker and let's import this data here. I'm going to click in the first empty cell. Let's go File, Import, Upload, Browse, my sales report. Now there's going to be some overlapping data and we can just clean it up. I'm going to change it so it's replace data, import the data. There we go. I know I have to delete these first two rows by selecting them. Right click over the number and delete those rows. I know if I go Control down to the bottom, there's the summary row. So I'm just going to delete that row as well. I have some duplicate data in here that I need to tidy up. Enrica is waiting for me. I'm going to remove duplicates. Here we go. Data cleanup, remove duplicates. Data has header rows, unselect everything. I want to choose it based on the date, the order ID, the product ID, and the earnings, column U. Remove duplicates. There we go. It got rid of 39 duplicate files. Hit OK. And the very cool thing is if I go back to my data tool, it's already pulled in the data and you can see my first sale date and my last sale date. Now that we've uploaded our sales data CSV into the data locker, we can start using some of the tools. I do need to confirm that the numbers match up. I'm going to click on total earnings, which just takes me to the TPT page with the sales report. And I confirm 83,290. Over here, I have 83,290 for my sales CSV. Now it's a work in progress, a little glitches. I can see number of sales is showing as a date, but really it should be a number. 6,100 sales. That's kind of cool. What I really wanted to do was do my top 5 analysis. Last week, this year, I sold 7 of these units. The previous year, 28. So that's significant. I did sell 3 of my middle school comprehension. I wonder if that's from ads. But last year, I sold 2 of the everything bundles. The problem with the everything bundle might be that I've introduced some resources and now it's not worth buying the everything bundle. Here's my middle school reading comprehension bundle. It's $50. Here's my everything bundle. It's $100. Maybe the question is, well, rather than spend $100, really what I want is the reading stuff and I can just get that for $50. This resource didn't exist last year. That's a possibility. But even if I pretend 10x middle school stuff was combined with the reading comprehension stuff, it's still 10 of these bundles compared to 28 last year. I looked at this and I wondered maybe the problem is on my reading bundle, I have targeted middle school. So then if you're not middle school, you are repelled by that. Because, you know, well, middle school, that's not for me. When I looked at the reading bundle, I did have one middle school that I took out. There wasn't anything jumping out at me in terms of, this is only for middle school. I don't see anything in here about middle school. Wait, let's look at this. If I look at cover 1, it does say Ontario Language 2023. What was my cover like last year? I use a free Chrome extension to save the HTML files of all of my product pages when I update them. So last year would have been around February 2023. So here's February 2023. It doesn't say anything about Ontario. Let's put these side by side. Here's the first cover and here's the first cover. I mean, I could try going back to the first cover like the original cover to see if that makes a difference. So the cover affects page views. Okay, how are my page views doing? This is where I'm going to have to cheat and use the ABCD tool. Here's the ABCD tool, and I will change the data locker to point to my orange data because that has all of my data. It says nothing found in the, oh, it's loading the data. Sometimes takes a second. I bet you if you have a slow computer, it takes even longer. That's a possibility. If you use the data locker, can you let me know how fast it is or how slow it is? There we go. I need to connect these spreadsheets, hit allow access. Okay, so it's adding permissions. It's still loading. Here we go. Let's just confirm total earnings, 83,290 and 83,290. Okay, I feel comfortable trusting this data. Here's the ABCD dashboard. Let's just reset this. So here's my reading comprehension bundle. It's product number 45. This is product number 45. All right, so today is February 13th, 2024. Let's see if I can get February 13th, 2023. What I want to do is compare, I don't know, a month. Can I do that? Point D, I'm going to make it February 13th. That's today. A month ago would have been what? January 13th? So here we go. January 13th. I have January 12th. That's good enough. So I have data from January 12th to today for this year. And now let's go back here. I want to see in time point B. I'm going to make that February 13th, 2023. But it's not February 13th. It's slightly off. The days are slightly off. I'm just going to go back to the top 5 dashboard because it'll tell me the actual dates. Over here, it's hiding under the raw data. Today is February 13th. Today, a year ago, was February 14th. Interesting. Did you say February 14th? Well, let's go with that. ABCD dashboard. Can I go with February 14th, 2023? Do I have that data? I may or may not have recorded that day. 2023. How did I find this? 2023 0213. 0212, 0215. All right, let's go 0215. And then a month before that, here we go, 2023, January 15th. So this works because I've saved my CSV data for a while. If you want to start to be able to do this kind of analysis, you need to save your products.csv. Just do it whenever you update a product or do it every Saturday, Sunday if you want to be systematic. This is 2023 and this is 2024. Let's do some analysis here. My page views has gone down. Before it was 2,200, now it's 1,700. My product preview rate is around the same. It's a little bit more this year. My wish list rate's the same, but my sold rate is in half, right? Crazy. So that means that's a product preview thing. In episode 5, I was using the ABCD tool to try to figure out why my sales were down because my sale rate was 4.5% and then at the time it was 2.3%. So it was in half. That meant that there's something wrong with my product preview and I had to figure out what that was. So I discovered I accidentally destroyed the product previews in half of the resources in that reading bundle because when I flipped it to free and then back to paid, when it went to free, because I was doing in the full product edit screen and not the quick edit, it cleared my product preview. I'll do an episode about that later. I do need to see if my product sold rate has increased since I fixed that. Whenever I make a change on my store, I have a Google form. Basically, I record the URL, a quick note about what I actually did, a reminder to save the page HTML. I save the CSV, and then I write down who did it, and then I have a reference to my project task software. Here are my Google form results whenever I make a change. Here's the event log. It's showing just the reading mega bundle changes that I've made. Here are the 3 last changes I made on this resource. Today, I dropped the price from $35 to $34.99. I moved this section about middle school. I took that out and put it into my 10x middle school resource. Then I added social proof. I put reviews, the 5-star reviews. I sprinkled them throughout the product description and I included the grade. So I wanted a 5th grade teacher to come by here and they're just skimming and scanning. They see, ooh, 5 stars, and then they see 5th grade. Then I just sort of sprinkled my reviews throughout this resource, trying to build that social proof that there's value. Other teachers have bought it, therefore it's safe for you to buy. So that's today's date. I can see from my log, February 7th is when I fixed the preview glitch. I went to the ABCD tool. I deleted time point D. My date of action is February 7th right here. And today's date is February 13th. So then I figured out, okay, well, about 5 days earlier is February 2nd. I'm looking to see if before and after I changed the preview on February 7th, did it have an impact on the sold rate? I had around 400 page views since the change, and that's past the mythical number of 300. And then before I had 232 page views. It's good enough. My product preview rate seems to be around the same. It's like 37, 35%. The wish list rate has gone up, but the sold rate is around the same. It's around 1.5%. It didn't really change. I can see that earnings have gone up. My earnings have doubled. It's not necessarily because I have more page views. My earnings have doubled. Huh. So I guess that 0.2% was enough to double it, but I'm half of where it used to be. This is significantly down. Something I see here is the wish list rate is 4%. I think fixing the product preview glitch has improved the wish list rate. The reason why people might put something on a wish list is here's the perceived value of the resource based on your reviews and your product description and your cover and your product PDF. And here's the price. If they're not buying, the value discrepancy is too much. But if they put it on the wish list, it means they're waiting for a sale, because when there's a sale, the price will drop and then it's worth buying this. This makes me wonder if the problem is price. I might actually experiment with price just for fun. I might drop it to $29.99. Before it used to be $35 and now it's going to be in the 20s. And I wonder if that's more enticing to people. So let's do that right now together. It's like a little experiment. Here we go. And let's change it to, should I go crazy, make it $24.99? Let's go crazy, $24.99. And then let's add a sale message. So February 13th, 2024, I love you, update. You can have sales for anything, right? This resource is normally $35, but right now it's only $24.99. Happy Valentine's Day. Aw, happy Valentine's Day. Let's put sale time, Valentine's Day sale, February 13th. Should I do a sale? Am I running ads? I don't really remember. I'll figure that out later. Valentine's Day sale. I love you. Happy Valentine's. So I have a reason for the price drop. Let's save this. $24.99. It's significantly dropped. Am I in the ads today? English language arts. Yeah, there I am. See? So even though I'm still running ads, and if I'm in the first place here, it's because I was the quickest. Even though I'm running ads, I'm not getting sales. So reading comprehension. Has this changed? That's a possibility, but I don't know. I'll make a note. In fact, I'll make a note with you. Let's fill this out together. I'll fill out this form. The product is... Oh, I don't want to click on that. What actually happens if you click on it? It just opens. There's no code in there. They're not tracking anything. All right, so I'm going to copy the URL. This is the way I do my form. There we go. The event log. So reading bundle, $24.99. Talk about Valentine's Day sale. Because I love teachers. I love you. All right. Did I save the page HTML? Nope, not yet. I'll do that right now. If I click on this button, it saves the HTML. I don't have to do anything. It's just going all the way down to the bottom to make sure it's all there. I have a folder here, backup descriptions. I strongly suggest you sort them by products and product lines. Here's the reading bundle. And then I like to add a little note at the end. So I'll put $24.99 and I see that it's saved correctly, done. So yes, I saved the HTML. I've already saved the CSV. So I'm gonna say not applicable, done by Mike. There's no Zoho reference because my timer is tracking the video recording. There we go, submitted. And if I go to my form, I can see that the entry's here already. Hopefully sales start to improve. The top 5 tool that I used today is free and available at freesellertool.com. The Data Locker Orange is available. If you use it, let me know how it goes in the comments. I'd love to hear what I need to fix. If you want the ABCD tool for free, watch this video. YouTube thinks you should watch this video. And if you learned something new, subscribe to the channel.